Hey there. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to bypass or skip the login page. In our case, we'll be using Facebook, or more specifically, Facebook Market page, using the browser saved credentials and cookies. Okay, so let's get started. Obviously, the first thing you need to do is install Playwright. You need to play this. So this command here will install the Playwright libraries. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to install it. So 'cause that's going to have play, but you need support for the browser. And so this will install all the browser support that you need. npx playwright install. So this is for the first one's for the playwright libraries, the playwright modules, and the second one is for the browser support. Okay, so let's get rid of this. And so first thing we're gonna do is we are going to F. We're gonna make our instance of Chromium. We're also gonna need to know where our credentials and cookies are. So on a Windows computer, it is saved under AppData. So this is your username. So let me open my browser. Let's go to here. Let's go to beginning. So this is where your profile is right here. And then you would go to AppData, local. Then you would go to, where would it say here? AppData local, Google Chrome. Google is here, Chrome, user data. So this is where all your user data is located. You just have to copy the, oops, let me just make it small. You just have to copy this address here. And when you copy this address, you can put it right here. For Linux, however, it's a bit different. So this is my Raspberry Pi. If you want to know where your data is, this is where you first start out, right here. This is the, so cd tilde, that's your home page. And then if you do ls dash l, oh, la actually, you'll see that there's a hidden directory called config right here, .config. This config right here. So let me just pull this up a bit. Okay, so you go cd dot config, and inside here there's Chromium. So the Chromium, and I think that's about. So if you're using a Linux system, then you could use this instead, this directory instead. I have it commented out here. This is for Linux, but because I'm using Windows, this is the directory where I'm gonna find my Chrome data. So this means you would have to go into Chrome and log into your Facebook or whatever account. You log in first, and then everything gets saved. And the next time you go in there, you automatically go straight into the page. You don't have to go to the login page anymore. So this is for Chromium. I'm gonna leave this here just so you guys can see. I'm gonna say for Linux. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna make an anonymous async instantaneous anonymous asynchronous function right here. And inside here, this is where my code will go. So to get this to work, you're gonna need to open up a browser, and you're using launch persistent context. Launch persistent context, and our the directory, our user directory goes in the first column, and then over here are your options. Now, if you're using Windows, you're going to use Chrome. If you're using Linux, you'll be using Chromium for Linux. Because we're using Windows, we'll be using Chrome. And below here, I'm just going to put the Linux, what my Linux um, direct, directory is. So here, this is it's basically the same command, except I'm using uh, channel Chromium opposed to Chrome here. Okay, you're not going to need a context page because you already have it here. You're launching it and opening up the context. So instead, we are just going to put just the browser page at 0. I'm not quite sure why this works, but it just works. So you go to browser pages and then you put at 0. This must mean something, but I don't know what it is. So just copy what I do. I like to put a timeout just in case you never know when that comes in handy. So I put the page default timeout to 30 seconds. So it'll keep, if you can't find a page, you'll try for 30 seconds until it does finally find the page. Now finally, we can go to the Facebook Marketplace. Well, I'm going to Facebook Marketplace. So normally you would have to log in, but since I'm loading the cookies, these all the credentials and cookies, I should not have to log in. So let's see if this works. First, let's save this, Control S, and it looks like I logged in. If you can take a look here, I'm already in Facebook. So that's how you that's how you use your credentials and cookies to log in. But let me show you what happens if you don't. So suppose that you don't. Let's say you try to do it the normal way, the old for new context. And hold on. Oh, this has to be commented out too. So this is the old way. The if you're starting brand new, and if I try to launch this, I'm not gonna get anywhere. It's gonna say, oh, kicks me right out. It's because typically you get redirected. Let's see the problems. It doesn't show the problem. Basically, here it is. Too many redirections right here. Too many redirections. So typically you try to log into somewhere you're not supposed to, it brings you back to the login page. That's why it kicks you out of this. Okay, let me make this small again. And let me just undo all this. Oops, let's redo that. And yeah. Okay, so one last thing is because I run Playwright on my Raspberry Pi. Um, that I want to explain the command that I use inside my Raspberry Pi because I'm running Playwright from Docker, from a Docker container. So to run it, I would have to say sudo docker, right? And then run. So that's when you want to run what you want to run the script. And what you're gonna have to do, because the thing is, your cookies, your credentials and cookies are saved on. This is a Linux. This is from a Linux system. Your credentials and cookies are saved on the computer itself, the Raspberry. In my case, the Raspberry Pi, and this is where all the credentials are saved. And but I want to mount all these credentials inside the container, right? So here's the cookie. This is the computer path to where all the cookies are in my Raspberry Pi. And when you get inside the container, you make another path, right? And it's basically mounting. You're mounting this path onto the container path, and it's separated by a colon. So dash V means to mount, right? So you're mounting that to that. So in this case, here, my credentials are saved here in my Linux on my Raspberry Pi. It's a Linux system, right? This is where my credentials saved, and inside my container, I have a folder with exactly this path. This is a folder here, Chromium. So basically, this gets mounted on to here, right? RM says that as soon as you finish the command, close the container because you don't want to have those containers open. Image is the image of the whatever you name the image of your Docker stuff. So I named my image Playwright. If you go here, let me just close this. Let me make this a bit small so you can see. Sorry, it's a little bit small, but if I type in sudo docker images, and here's only one image called Playwright. That's the only one image there. So that's this image That is this image right here, Playwright. That's the image name. And then finally, the command. What command you want to make? So once you're inside, once you're this is basically the command inside the Docker. So the command I'm gonna run is basically the JavaScript, which I put inside the container, which is home playwright and playwright FB marketplace. So that's the my JavaScript that I put inside the container. But what's important is this option here, because I tried copying and pasting the contents, the credentials, and everything from here inside the container, but it doesn't work. I have to mount it. So you got to use this V option to mount the path inside your computer to the path inside the container. Okay, so I hope that explains things, and yeah, that's about it. Again, all this code will be in the description of this video, and I'll see you guys later.